Class 12th, Subject Physics, 4th chapter Thermodynamics. From this chapter, let us see the heat engines. Now, what are these heat engines? So, heat engines are the machines that convert some heat into work or mechanical energy. The heat engines work by using the cyclic processes and involve thermodynamic changes. The automobile engines are the familiar examples of these heat engines. A heat engine receives heat from a source called as reservoir and converts some part of it into work. All the heat absorbed is not converted into work by the heat engine, and such heat which is not converted into the work done is lost in the form of the exhaust. And now let us see which are the elements of the heat engine. So if you consider the heat engine, it is having the elements like first one, that is working substance, second is hot and cold reservoir, and third is the cylinder. Now let us see these elements one by one. First one is the working substance. The working substance is also called as a system. It can be an ideal gas for an ideal heat engine. For a practical heat engine, the working substance can be a mixture of fuel vapor and air in a gasoline, that is petrol or diesel engine, or it will be steam in a steam engine. It is the working substance that absorbs heat and some work will be done by it. Then let us consider the second point, that is hot and cold reservoir. The working substance interacts with the reservoirs. It is at a relatively high temperature and is capable of providing large amount of heat at constant higher temperature. The hot reservoir is the source of heat. It is also called as the source. The cold reservoir absorbs large amount of heat from the working substance at constant lower temperature, and it is also called as sink. Therefore, hot reservoir is called as source and the cold reservoir is called as sink. Then the third element is cylinder. The working substance is enclosed in a cylinder provided with a movable, frictionless and massless piston. So that cylinder will be provided with a moving, frictionless and massless piston. Then the working substance does some work by displacing the piston in the cylinder. Now this displacement of the piston is transferred to the environment using some arrangement such as a crank shaft, which transfers mechanical energy to the wheels of the vehicle. Now heat engines are of two basic types. They differ in the way that the working substance absorbs heat. In an external combustion engine, the working substance is heated externally, as in case of a steam engine. The working substances are heated internally, similarly to an automobile engine using gasoline, that is petrol or diesel. That means if you consider the heat engines, in an external combustion engine, the working substance is heated externally, as in case of a steam engine, the working substance is heated internally, similar to an automobile engine using petrol or diesel. Any heat engine works in the three basic steps. Now which are these steps? let us see. First one, the working substance absorbs heat from a hot reservoir at higher temperature. Second, the part of heat absorbed by the working substance is converted into work. And third step is the remaining heat, that is which is not converted into work, is transferred to a cold reservoir, that is sink, at lower temperature. So these are the three steps which take place in case of a heat engine. Now the heat engines are classified according to the working substance used and the way these steps are actually implemented during its operation. Energy exchange takes place during various steps of the working of a heat engine. Then we have to consider some of the quantities in order to explain this heat engine. Let QH be the heat absorbed by the working substance at the source and QC be the heat rejected by it at the sink, that is cold reservoir. In a heat engine, QH is positive and QC is negative because QH is provided to it and QC is given out by it. Also, let us consider W be the work done by the working substance. Then, if you consider the block diagram of this heat engine, this portion will represent the hot reservoir which will be kept at a temperature. Its temperature will be equal to TH. Then this circle will represent, this is the circle, this circle will represent the engine. Then this arrow will represent the heat supplied to that engine which will act as input QH. Then some work will be done here, so that will be equal to W. That W is given as QH plus QC. So that will be actually given as the magnitude of QH minus magnitude of QC, because this will be positive and this will be negative. Then this arrow will represent the output, that is QC, and then at the other end of that machine there will be the cold reservoir which will act as sink. It will be at a temperature equal to TC. So at the upper end there is hot reservoir, it will act as source. At the lower end there will be the cold reservoir which will act as the sink. And therefore if you consider these quantities, then as the circle in this diagram represents the engine, then heat pipelines, that is these arrows, show the heat absorbed, rejected and converted into work. The width of the heat pipeline indicated by QH is proportional to the amount of heat absorbed at the source. Then width of the branch indicated by QC is proportional to the magnitude of QC, that is the amount of heat rejected at the sink. Then the width of the branch of the pipeline indicated by W, that is work done, is proportional to the part of heat converted into mechanical work. The number of cycles are repeated when a heat engine is operating. Then the quantities QH and QC represents the amount of heat absorbed, that is positive, and the heat rejected, that is negative, during one cycle of operation of that heat engine. Then the net heat Q absorbed per operating cycle will be given as, it will be given as W is equal to QH plus QC, that will be the heat absorbed, and again it will be given as magnitude of QH minus magnitude of QC. The net work done in one operating cycle by the working substance is given by using the first law of thermodynamics, that is W is equal to Q is equal to again magnitude of QH minus magnitude of QC. Now there is always heat lost, that is QC will not be equal to 0 because there will be always the heat lost, and hence QC will not be equal to 0, and therefore the thermal efficiency, or simply called as efficiency of the heat engine, is defined as, so the efficiency of the heat engine will be equal to eta equal to W upon QH, but we know that W is equal to QH plus QC and divided by QH. So this equation will represent the efficiency or thermal efficiency of the heat engine. Now the efficiency of heat engine is the ratio of work done by the working substance and the amount of heat absorbed by it. So it is again the ratio of output in the form of work done W by the engine and the input in the form of heat supplied QH. Thus the efficiency of heat engine is the fraction of the heat absorbed that is converted into work. The efficiency of heat engine is the fraction of heat absorbed that is converted into work. Then the efficiency of heat engine will be also given as, simplifying the above equation, we will get eta is equal to W upon QH, that will be equal to 1 plus QC upon QH, because from this relation if you separate denominator then it will become QH upon QH plus QC upon QH, it will be equal to 1 plus QC upon QH. In terms of magnitudes then it will be written as equal to 1 minus, because this QC is negative and therefore it will be 1 minus QC upon QH, that is 1 minus magnitude of QC upon QH. This equation will represent the thermal efficiency or simply efficiency of the given heat engine. And now let us consider the next point, that is the heat engine cycle and the PV diagram. So in this diagram the heat energy cycle is represented, and it will represent the PV diagram because pressure against volume, that graph is plotted. So that cycle will be A, B, C, D, A. So this will represent one complete cycle. At that time, in this portion, there will be heat absorption. Then this portion will represent work done by the gas. This portion will represent now the heat rejected, and this will represent the work done on the gas. So the respective temperatures are TH and TC. So this diagram will represent the PV diagram for a particular heat engine. Now, as heat engine uses energy absorbed in the form of heat to do work and then rejects heat which cannot be used to perform the work, then heat is absorbed in one part of the cycle, work is done in another part, and the unused heat is rejected in at other part of the cycle. That means there will be three parts: heat absorbed, then it will get converted into work done, then remaining part will be rejected in the third part. Then PV diagram for a typical heat engine is as shown in the figure. The operating cycle begins at point A. This operating cycle of this heat engine will start at point A in that cycle. Then the working substance, the gas in this case, absorbs the heat. It will absorb the heat at constant volume, and the work is done by the gas or on the gas. The pressure is increased till the point B is reached. So from point A to point B, there will be increase in the pressure. Then the temperature of the gas also increases and its internal energy increases. So there will be both change in pressure as well as temperature in the part of this cycle. From point A to point B, there will be increase in the pressure as well as temperature. Then the gas starts expanding by pushing the piston away, and its volume changes from point B to point C. So there will be change in volume, so that work will be done by the gas there as it expands. Because the gas expands, its pressure is reduced. Due to the expansion of the gas, there will be reduction in the pressure, and the gas does work in this part of the cycle. Now when the point C is reached, the excess heat, that is extra heat, that heat is not utilized in doing work by the gas, is rejected. That will be the extra heat energy after performing that work done, which is left, that will be rejected. Therefore the gas cools down. As that heat energy is reduced, it is rejected. Therefore the gas will become cool, and its internal energy will also decrease. Now this process is again at constant volume, and the pressure of the gas is reduced, and the point D on the PV diagram will be now reached from point C to point D. Now the gas is now compressed. In this portion there will be compression of the gas, its volume decreases and its pressure will increase. The change continues. This change continues till point A is reached, and the cycle is complete, and the system is ready for the next cycle. So starting from point A, first we will reach to point B, then from B to C, then from C to D, and at last from D to A. At that time one cycle will be completed, and then that gas will be ready for the next cycle. Now the area of the loop, that is A, B, C, D, A, will represent the work done during complete cycle. So this area between A, B, C, D, A, so this internal area of that loop will now represent the work done during the complete cycle, that is one cycle. So during only one cycle, that work done will be given by that area of the loop A, B, C, D, A.